Hi everyone, this is Rica. I think some of you may have known me already because I am a very long time member of STRAP. I also serve as STRAP chairwoman, and in the past, I was the first transgender housemate sa Bahay ni Kuya. And I think it's a great milestone for me and for STRAP, who was there all throughout my journey to Bahay ni Kuya. Right now, I am based in London, in the UK, working for Accenture as a solution architect, senior manager here in the UK. But I'm here today to share to you how to navigate the workplace as a transgender woman, because it's very important in the sense that you have to feel good in the workplace, you have to feel protected, you have to feel that you are safe. Because if you feel that you are safe, you become productive, you also become comfortable, especially in going around and interacting with your colleagues. But more importantly, you really feel safe at work, and that's the most important thing. Let me probably start off by saying that it's not going to be easy as a transgender woman to enter a workplace, primarily because you will stand out, you will generate attention, probably in the way you dress or in your gender identity, but mainly because of your uniqueness. And that is something that will really attract attention. And you have to face that people will take notice of you. And without attention, there could so many things that can happen to you. It could bring discrimination, it could bring untoward attention, it can bring microaggressions. But at the same time, there are also positive things that can happen to you because of that attention. And I will probably just share you several things in my experiences that happened to me, and how I managed to, overcome the challenges because of being transgender in the workplace, but at the same time, how I use that uniqueness to make myself really unique and cement my place in the workplace as a really strong worker that has talents and skills. So, as I said about microaggressions, it's very important to realize these things, because in the workplace there will be people who will feel threatened, or they will feel that their space is invaded. For example, let's take for example in women's toilet. If you enter the women's toilet, there could be some colleagues that will complain because of your presence there. And I experienced it in the past. When I worked in my first company, I received incident reports of entering women's toilet, and I reported it to my boss. But at that time, I was the only transgender woman in the workplace, and there's not much education around it. So, not to encounter so much problem, my boss just suggested that I use a common toilet, which is located at the very far side of the building. So I think it was a compromise at that time for me to just go to the toilet, and I have to travel a little bit far, and it will, make me safe to go there. But looking back, I thought that was unfortunate, and I think it was really difficult to be really segregated and not be in the toilet that you have with women. I think it's very important to note now that the situation has changed in the modern times, primarily because a lot of companies would have anti-discrimination policy that protects transgender people, especially. They can access the toilet that matches their gender identity, and that's very important. The next point that I want to discuss is pronouns, and making sure that people recognize the preferred name that you use on a daily basis. You need to let these people know that this is you, this is your identity. You go by this name, and this is the pronoun that you use. And people should respect that, because respect is very important. Respect in the sense that they recognize you as a person, they recognize your identity. And you have to make that known to people because people should recognize you, but at the same time, people should hear from you. You should speak up for yourself. You should speak up that this is the preferred name, this is the affirmation of my life, the name that I go by day to day, and this is how people should recognize me. And I think it's very important for you to bear yourself to your colleagues in the sense that you're honest, in the sense that you really want them to know your gender identity. And I think you want to correct them and to properly address you and guide them how to address you properly. That is also very important. Now, the thing that I want everyone to realize is that you're not alone in your battle in the office. You don't have to fight every battle that you have. There are definitely people who support us and who are very sympathetic of us and who believes in the right of everyone, who believes in the right of the transgender people. And you can find these people around. For example, in your LGBT Pride network, in your companies, or you can also find colleagues who are very supportive of us. And I think it's very important for you to be able to know them and to network with them, because when you are not in the room or you are not there to speak up for yourself, these people speak up for you. And it's very important to realize these allies that we have in the office. And it's important that you know them. You make yourself known. You make yourself be available for them so that you can also educate them, so that they know what to say. They know how to defend you. They know how to speak up in behalf of you when you are not there, for example. So it's very important to have network. It's very important to understand the different policies of the companies, especially in protecting transgender people in the office. So for example, if they support the use of preferred name and pronouns, for example, they have policies that protects you against discrimination. But more importantly, transgender healthcare. It's very important to realize what level of support the company has for you. So for example, does the company support hormone therapy, or the company support transition needs like counseling, for example, like surgeries, for example, to do hair removal, to have breast augmentation, for example. So these are very important things that you should understand, what level of support your company is extending to transgender people. And if it's not yet happening, it's very important to work out with HR or where your inclusion and diversity team, so that they can help put together these kind of policies that cater to you, that you really need to make sure that you have better and quality life that protects you in terms of your health. So that's really, really good. And lastly, I wanted to close this talk with probably a message to everyone that yourself is non-negotiable. Being authentic is very important at work. There's no point of hiding or going stealth because you're afraid or you don't want your identity to be discovered. It's very important to speak up, because sooner or later, people will dig into some people's personal details, or you will have to just be able to reveal yourself. And I think the most important thing is to really present this authentic self in the workplace. People should work with you, recognize you, love you at work for who you are. And it's really a great feeling that people recognize you for the authentic you. And for you to be able to go there so comfortably, bringing yourself at work, bringing your authentic self at work, I think is something that really makes going to work worthwhile. But more importantly, it's an honor to yourself that you are bringing yourself everywhere, in your family, in your work, in your social life. And it just makes you more holistic as a person. And I think that's the essence of really being strong and being true to yourself, that despite all the experiences that you have, all the challenges and all the trials that you have went through, you're putting all this strength and put yourself to become that person, and introducing that person at work is really impressive for me, because it's a sign of strength, it's a sign of authenticity. And I think it's lovable for everyone who will be around you because you're so honest. But I think the more important thing is you are so proud of yourself, and that is something that you should bring at work. And I hope that you can take this message through and really navigate through your workplace, proclaim yourself as a proud transgender person. Go out there, bring your authentic self at work.